Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Woof, woof indeed. We are back, continuing with Season 5. I heard a creeper at the end of the last episode, so I'm a little bit creeped out, but I think we are fine. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, we're back in Far Lands or Bust. This is episode 336. It is March 31st, 2014, the final day of March. Sounds like something much more dramatic than it actually is, but yeah, we're continuing west, departing the somewhat hidden and inconspicuous hidey hole from the last episode. Thought I was going to start walking the wrong way there, didn't you? But I'm not. Going west towards the Far Lands, per usual. And we're still raising money for Child's Play charity, like I went over in the last episode. Taking it a different approach this season, and perhaps in the coming weeks, or maybe months, adding additional charities to put the Farlander generosity behind. But right now at farlandsorbust.com, we're still raising money for Child's Play charity. We are up to $83.37. That is such a nice, simple number to say, as compared to at the last numbers of the last season was $186,649.13. But yeah, we're up to $83.37. So thank you, everybody who donates. And yeah, I suppose by not having a goal, you know, a 100% achievement goal or anything to go towards, perhaps, you know, looking into the psychology of charitable giving, that pig wanted to go for a boat ride. You know, perhaps that doesn't encourage people to donate as much or as frequently or anything like that, but we'll see. We're like we said, we're just learning as we're going. We're walking to the Far Lands. We don't have a plan. We just said, look, the sun is setting in the westward direction. Let's walk towards that horizon and then continue walking. So that is the way we do things here in Far Lands or Bust. And these pigs are all dry. Boop. There we go, much better. Do you want, you might be, yep, you were full. I might have eaten that. But yeah, we're continuing on here. Going west. And already getting a little bit stuck in this cliffy area. Let's go around the north side. I was about to go that way, but since we're listing westward, or I mean southward, by a significant amount, I'm going to try to, perhaps at the next F3 moment, we will have zeroed out that Z coordinate. It's like 59,000 off. And I was talking to Brian, Lorgon 111. I was helping him test. For those of you who haven't seen, he put up a teaser video where he's getting into like the Seth Bling-esque side of Minecraft, where he's working a lot with making custom maps and games and using fancy pants command blocks and things with the current versions of the game. And he's making a version of Bingo. He made in the older, I think 1.6 versions of the game, he made a Bingo mini game. And he has revived that idea and is making quite a... I was helping him test it out. He has yet to release it, but it's coming soon, so make sure you check out Lorgon 111 for that. But it's very cool. It reminds me a lot of speed challenges. You all know we've done speed challenges in the past, like the Fast Start speed challenge, where how quickly can you get up to full iron armor and all diamond tools. There's also, Etho's done a lot of those, you know, the companions, how quickly can you tame all of the in-game companions, a wolf, a cat, a snow golem, and an iron golem, and then, you know, you time yourself how quickly you can do that. Very similar, Bingo, you got a bingo card as a map, and you have to, it randomizes. He's got this thing automatically randomizing the bingo cards, and it keeps track of the items you collect. And they're all, some of them are slightly simple items, like, say, a glass bottle or a gold ingot. And then there's some more difficult ones, like a cake or what's some other stuff, some watermelon or, stuff like that. And you end up trying to get bingo, 5 across or in diagonal or up or down or whatever, and that's how they win. It all happens. It's very automated, very cool, and I'm very looking forward to once he has that polished the way he likes it and is ready to start sharing that. Perhaps you will indeed be seeing some vidges from Minecraft bingo and stuff like that. So I was just thinking about that in terms of. Why did I bring that up? I was talking about Minecraft and the updates and Farland's bust. I forgot why I brought that up. Anyway, regardless, we are continuing to the Farlands. And little programming note. The owner of the blue Honda, license plate A1647990. Your headlights are on. No, I mentioned last episode the F3 contest, where for the last Flobathon, if you went to farlandsorbust.com and submitted your guess to what the F3 number was going to be, if you didn't win the grand prize by guessing the closest, you were still in the running for a random prize, and I mentioned how a lot of those were Mojang donated a bunch of codes for Minecraft, Cobalt, and Scrolls. Make sure you've checked your email to see if you were a winner, because only 3 of the 15 codes I gave out have been claimed, and I'm going to have to, at some point, put some sort of statute of limitations, perhaps a few months down the line. If those haven't been claimed, I will give them out for another contest or something like that. So make sure you've checked your emails, your spam. They would have come from an email at farlandsorbust.com. Your gift codes, and claim those, or if you already have a game, give them to a friend to claim, because your time is limited to claim said prize. What else? Oh, I ended off last episode kind of trailing off as I made the hidey hole, talking about how Facebook acquired Oculus Rift, and it was somewhat related to Minecraft news. And speaking of other acquisitions in the tech world, there was news recently that Disney purchased Maker Studios. For those of you who aren't aware, Maker Studios is a large, if not the largest. Oh, I need coal. That's something I needed to get in the last episode. Maybe that's what I was thinking about when I started to talk about Brian and his bingo thing, is collecting resources or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Disney acquired Maker Studios for $500 million. $500 million. And for those of you who don't know, Maker Studios is a big network for YouTube. A network is a kind of a third-party company that networks channels, and they also, Maker owns Polaris, formerly known as the Game Station. A lot of big YouTubers like the Yogscast, your PewDiePie is with Polaris, your Total Biscuit, stuff like that. But also Maker Studios has a lot of, who do they have? I have no idea who they have on the non-gaming side of things. I don't follow it that much, but yeah, acquired by Disney. So that's interesting news. You wonder how Disney obviously is going to handle that. Kind of it's not really a surprise, but a strange acquisition, I suppose. They also obviously acquired LucasArts and Lucasfilm recently. Well, they acquired Lucasfilm and LucasArts and promptly shut down LucasArts. So you wonder how committed are they to the gaming side of things. So you kind of wonder what that means for Polaris and the Game Station side of Maker Studios and whatnot. But I personally am not with a network nor Maker Studios, so I don't really have any skin in that game, other than the kind of association with YouTube and networks, and I follow, obviously, it's what I do. I have to follow the industry news and whatnot, so I must. It's a requirement. But yeah, let's go to sleep, and we'll continue talking in the morning. And sunriseness. Indeed, sheep. Yeah, I could use some of your wool. Thank you for offering and providing your fluffy coats, which you will not regrow because you do not do that in this version of the game. Sorry. Yoink. Oh, I said yoink. And coal I need to keep an eye out for. On the sides of mountains, or perhaps we'll find a basin biome or something where we can get some coal. But yeah, speaking of, I suppose, industry news, YouTube and stuff like that, there's been a lot of talk that Yahoo may be starting its own YouTube competition site service type of thing. And this is, I don't know what this is, like, speculation, it seems like. I'm not sure that there's ever been any word directly from Yahoo, but, Yahoo! But the news with that is that, they're possibly going to try to poach YouTube stars and YouTube channels. Oh, 2 wolves. Wolves, Wolfie. Wolves. You are not at all interested. No, I didn't think so. Out of the way. Oops, I accidentally collected those. Which is interesting, and I would say good on Yahoo, because competition is always good. A few months ago, Dinnerbone made a blog post about YouTube when YouTube was changing a bunch of things, and there was the whole hubbub about the change with networks. Your networks no longer protecting their networked channels from content ID problems and things like that. Dinnerbone made a very good blog post about YouTube and the lack of competition, and how it does seem like without competition, YouTube has no need to innovate or fix the problems they have, or the changes they do make are only self-serving and experimental, and there's really no drive because they are the only kid on the block. So I do feel like whether or not these rumors are true, if there is competition from a big player... Oh, there's some coal. Have a seat, Wolfie. No, come over here. Yep, have a seat. I'm going to go down and grab this coal. It's a little bit dark down here, so hopefully it's fine, it's fine. So yeah, competition, always good. People I saw on the Mindcrack Reddit, somebody posted the story and was like, would any Mindcrackers go over to Yahoo? We can't say, because it doesn't exist yet. There's been no offers. There's no information about the system or if it even is a thing that's going to happen. So, I'd be interested to see what they might have to offer. Obviously, with any new service, you're lacking the audience and the community already built into YouTube, so there would have to be quite a convincing argument to suddenly jump ship. But I suppose we'll see. It's always good, so that is a glimmer of good news, I suppose you could say. As far as, and I'm not saying that I hate YouTube, and they've, obviously I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, I wouldn't even exist. My mother and father would have never met if it wasn't for YouTube, much like Marty McFly. I'm starting to evaporate. No, did I get Wolfie? Oh no, did I not tell Wolfie to stand? Oh, there he is, okay. Yes, I've had my share of complaints. And I recently did have a YouTube partner survey that I filled out, and I let them know what I thought. But, I'm not out there hunting for a replacement to YouTube, or the income from YouTube, or the distribution of YouTube. So yeah, interesting. News! Internet news, I suppose. I know I talked about Comcast wanting to buy Time Warner Cable, and all these other things, and the Netflix paying the toll for a direct connection to Comcast, and this whole net neutrality and all that stuff is kind of important stuff to me. I follow along as somebody who grew up and even before YouTube, my job was dependent on the internet as a web designer and graphic designer and stuff. It's news that I can use if I can use an overly used phrase. Used. But let's actually get to space news. Speaking of news we can use. Space news. It's been recently discovered that there is an asteroid out there with its own rings system. Obviously, rings, we know there's rings around Saturn is the most obvious thing, but also Jupiter has rings, and so does Neptune, and Uranus has rings. So it's only been confined to the large planetary gas giants to have ring systems. So now it's been discovered that an asteroid known as Chariklo, a large asteroid. It's not in the asteroid belt. It's actually located between Saturn and Uranus, is about 250 kilometers wide, and it's out there. There is kind of it's not an asteroid belt, but there are known objects, large asteroid objects, beyond the asteroid belt, beyond the orbit of Saturn and Jupiter. They're known as Centaur objects. This one, like I said, is 250 kilometers wide. For comparison, asteroid Vesta, which is in the asteroid belt, which was just visited by the Dawn spacecraft? Yeah, Dawn spacecraft, is 525 kilometers wide, and it's on its way to Ceres, which is a dwarf planet in the asteroid belt, is 950 kilometers wide. So smaller than those two objects, but still a significant object. Has its own rings, and it was discovered because Chariklo, I'm never going to learn how to say that, actually was being observed during an occultation event. That means it was occulting a distant star, and since this object is so far away, it's not illuminated, so this is the only way we know this object exists, is by watching it pass in front of stars, and then you can measure how fast it's orbiting, and then that will give you how far away it is, and also when the star turns off, much like an eclipse is quite literally what that is, and then turns back on again, you can measure its diameter. But during the latest occultation event, they noticed before the asteroid passed in front of the star that there was a dimming of the star, and then once again on the other side, another dimming of the star. So that means that there is an equivalent amount of material in front of and behind this object, thus indicating a ring system. Probably little icy objects, debris, perhaps from a broken up asteroid that has been captured, just debris from perhaps even an impact event is what they're saying. So that's very cool. Space news to be seeing. Very cool stuff. All the things we're constantly learning about, new behaviors within our own solar system even. It's very cool stuff to always be hearing about that. And of course, I do want to talk about, I hadn't had time to talk about Cosmos, the recent and ongoing series returning to Fox. I mentioned it a while ago when it was coming up, but it started right on the break after Flobathon, so I haven't had a forum, a long-form, talky, podcasty type of series in which to talk about this. Where did I get that cobblestone? Oh, when I got this coal stuff. Let's make another boat. A lot of boating this episode. So yeah, Cosmos has made its return. It's on Fox every Sunday, at least in my central time zone at 8 p.m. In direct competition with The Walking Dead, of course. I don't have AMC, nor do I watch The Walking Dead, so no competition for me. But yeah, Cosmos is back, being hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson, being produced by Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy fame, obviously. He has a lot of a lot of pull and sway with the Fox people, so that's why it's on Fox. And people were always wondering why Fox? It seems like the last place you associate Fox with Fox News, which is a very conservative, right-wing-esque. It doesn't need the esque. News station. And of course, there's a difference between Fox News and Fox, but they are owned by the same nut job, and they do follow the same kind of rhetoric, I guess you could say. But I suppose at least what Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about and other people's, that's the perfect place to put it, because that, you don't want to really be, obviously, the fans of the old Carl Sagan series and who are up on their science education and knowledge. You could be posting it on those forums and preaching to the choir, or you can find some new, people to educate about the cosmos and space and time. A space-time odyssey is the subtitle of this Cosmos is. The original one was A Personal Voyage. Took a little bit more of an inward approach, but let's go to sleep, and I'll let you guys know about my thoughts about the current cosmos in the morning. And Cosmosness. Woof. Woof indeed, Wolfie. Woof indeed. But yeah, I have been watching every episode. I thought the first episode was very good, very reminiscent of the first episode of Carl Sagan's Cosmos. Taking a very broad approach and kind of setting the groundwork for what to expect with the ongoing series. And this latest episode was about, pretty much opened up with the much talked about, whenever you're talking to people when you're looking through telescopes or up at the night sky, you're like, oh, the stuff you're seeing in stars, and if you're looking through a telescope at distant objects, are all have happened in the past. The light has taken years, perhaps hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, if you're talking about the stars that are visible in the night sky, from within our own Milky Way galaxy. And if you're looking through a telescope at other galaxies and objects in the distance, you're talking about millions of years. So it kind of talked about that, and also in regards to the speed of light, how it was discovered and theorized by science and Einstein about the theory of relativity a little bit in the past. I do feel, however, and I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of shook my head. I'm like, I've been listing left again. Go right, Kurt. That's why I started talking about Lorgon 111, is we were testing his map, and he was mentioning how he watched the first episode, the last episode of Far Lands Bust, and he's like, good job in starting to try to go to the right a little bit more to cancel out that Z-axis being so far off. That's why I started talking about it. Only took me 3 Minecraft days to jog my memory, but anyway, back to Cosmos. I do feel like they're just having to abridge a lot of what they're talking about. Obviously, the previous Cosmos with Carl Sagan was on PBS, meaning there were no commercials, and they had, actually, I only watched the version that was up on Netflix, which was the updated version, the kind of amended version of Cosmos. Apparently, the original version, it was like each episode was an hour and a half or something like that. So they cut it down even more when it went to DVD, and then that's the version that was up on Netflix, which has now been removed, which is stupid, but obviously it's because there's this new Cosmos coming out, so whoever owns the rights to the old Cosmos, it's like, we want to take advantage of this, let's not give it to them for free. Same thing is happening, I noticed, with 24. If you haven't watched 24 on Netflix, I think you missed your chance, because 24 is coming back, being rebooted on Fox, so whatever deals they have with Netflix and stuff, they're like, no, we want the monopoly on this. Just silly and stupid, but again, I won't get into that. Ooh, more coal. So yeah, I feel like the current Cosmos, because of the commercials, they're not able to get as in-depth into the subjects as they were in the old Cosmos, and I feel, that they're having to take a little bit more of a layman's approach, like this last episode about space and time and space-time and speed of light. It felt like there was a punchline missing. He talked about going into a black hole. What would happen, we don't know, and it's all speculative. Perhaps there are other universes inside a black hole because the mathematics and stuff that go into the creation of a black hole are very echoey and similar to that of the Big Bang, the same sort of environments. Perhaps our own universe is just simply that of one within a black hole within another universe, and blah, 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 blah. And it kind of just left it at that. There was like no further explanation as to why we think that, what the math is that goes into that, or what alternate theories about what happens inside black holes could be. So I feel like there was a missed punchline, there was a missed opportunity there, and it's unfortunate that we miss out on Neighbor's Home. We miss out on a lot of the more specific. I feel like Carl Sagan, his kind of mantra was not to dumb things down for the general public or for children or whatever, to actually give them straight science and trust that they'll understand it if you explain it well enough and not really just exclude it for the sake. It seems like they're opting to stick with fancy graphics and whoa, Wolfie, and dramatic music in this latest Cosmos versus getting too in depth. There is a lot of time where Neil deGrasse Tyson isn't talking and they're just showing computer-generated black holes and gases and the fancy stuff of the cosmos, or his spaceship of the imagination traveling through this, that, or the other. So I feel there's a little bit of a loss of that. I'm still holding out hope. There's still plenty. There's like 10 more episodes. I think there's 14 episodes in total. So or 12. Maybe there's 10 or 8 more episodes, each one dealing with a different subject, obviously. So I'm kind of holding out hope. One of my favorite parts of the old Cosmos, there was, I forgot which, I'm sure it was the episode about extraterrestrial, the possibility for extraterrestrials or other life on other planets, and Carl Sagan talked about and brought up the Drake equation, and there was like a sequence, it was like a uncut 10-minute, 15-minute sequence where basically the camera is just over Carl Sagan's shoulder, and he has a marker and a pad of paper, and he's walking us through the Drake equation. Okay, this many stars in our galaxy times the number of galaxies divided by the number of stars with planets divided by habitable planets divided by the number of civilizations, or divided by the number of planets with intelligent life divided by the number of intelligent life who have survived destroying themselves when they achieve nuclear power, or whatever he equated that to. And it was like an uncut, it was like 10, 15 minutes of just him doing these different scenarios and equations, and I feel like this series isn't going to have that, because that would be 60% of the allotted time they have, because with the commercials you only have about 40 minutes or so of content to work with there. So I feel that's a little bit of a loss and a little bit unfortunate, but I am, regardless, beside that fact, I am glad that there is the airtime being given on a major network. It's also on the National Geographic channel and stuff like that, so it's all over the place, and they make it available for free. It's on Hulu, it's on its own website, cosmosontv.com or something like that. So I'm very happy that it's back, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is awesome as always. But yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag there in regards to the type of content. And we all assumed, obviously, being on a network channel with commercials, that was going to happen. But you kind of almost hope afterwards maybe they release a DVD or something that is the extended cut or something that gets oh man, hold on, I need my that was weird, my throat just like suddenly was a desert. Dessert. So yeah, that, I hope maybe that's the case. I don't know, but regardless, and even it's kind of funny how the old cosmos kind of stands up to the test of time, even though there have been many new scientific discoveries. You know, even beyond that. So the things Carl Sagan talks about, sending robots, autonomous robots to Mars, and how that would be amazing, and that's something we've done many times. The Curiosity and the Mars exploration rovers are pretty much autonomous. We tell them what to do for the day, and then they do it and map out their course and stuff like that. Even with this current version of Cosmos, there is some stuff, like he started talking about the black holes in the event horizon. You know, it's recently come out that Stephen Hawking published a paper where he's kind of reversing his decision that maybe black holes don't have an event horizon. He's not saying black holes don't exist, but maybe his theory and the math and the physics that go into the event horizon, that is the kind of border, how close you get to a black hole, that once you pass that, once light or any matter or anything passes that event horizon, it cannot return or escape. So he's kind of revising that. So it's kind of interesting how even in this series that was produced very, very recently is still, you know, I wonder if they have to keep that into account. Like, oh no, this recent thing has come out. Like, who knows if they'll talk about, only planets have rings. And just a few weeks ago, we've discovered that there's an asteroid out there that has, Wolfie, has rings. I apologize. You got in my way whilst I was shoveling. Have a bone. But yeah, look, I was looking for coal all along, and woof, yeah, some is right here in the very hidey hole, which we are digging for the end of the episode. Oops, I'm doing this all wrong. Yeah, let's do that. And dig out the rest here, like so. But yeah, we are back on schedule, on point for Far Lands or Bust. Second episode of Season 5. I don't refer to them as that, I'm just counting up. So this is episode 336 of Far Lands or Bust. The only reason I started calling them seasons, the only reason for the season is because I started using speaking of YouTube, innovating or lack of innovating, started using the YouTube shows feature, and that is arranged by seasons, much like, you know, TV shows and things like that, but they've recently announced that they're getting rid of the shows feature, so yeah, I'm gonna actually have to. I have Kerbal Space Program, I have Mindcrack, and I have Far Lands or Bust set up as a show. I'm going to have to delete those, and there are a bunch of people who are just subscribed to the show, and perhaps not necessarily to the KurtJMac channel. So I might, if you do see some pointless videos uploaded telling people if they're subscribed to the show to subscribe to the channel or the playlist, I apologize for that, but I'm going to have to upload those and then add them to the shows just to be like, I'm going to be deleting these shows. You've been missing out on all of these episodes of Far Lands or Bust or Kerbal Space Program or whatever. So look forward to that. Programming note. Boop. Indeed. So I think I've covered everything I needed to cover. You can keep going to farlandsorbust.com, and while you're at it, you can donate to Child's Play charity and look forward to additional charities and causes we'll be helping out throughout the season. You can still go to our Spreadshirt shop, check out the new shirt design, also available as a coffee mug and a doggy bandana that Rosie designed for us, the Careful Wolfie. Although he had to be careful of me there because I whacked him upside the head with a shovel. Sorry. Ooh, grass. And keep checking that out. Or if you want to wait, Spreadshirt often runs promotions for free shipping or 15% off or something like that. If you want to wait, that's fine. No problem. I would recommend that as well. And I'll let you know if there is a coupon code to use eventually. So thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.